Welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Diorio. Tonight, we are joined by Biggs himself, Gideon Emery. As always, my co-hosts are the beanied one, Gerard Barrera.
How are you, my nerds? That's right. The beanied one is back. Thank you all very much.
Alive.
We are also joined by Lion's Mane, Jason Valerio.
How's it going, guys? How's it going?
And then we are also joined by Barf, Theo Volsky.
Barf!
I'll take Barf, but I mean, eventually you're going to run out of Spaceballs references.
But not for long.
So how's everyone doing? How you doing with this quarantine there, Gideon?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm quite impressed. Well, we did go for a walk with a dog recently, and ended up picking 5 ticks off the dog. Because I guess now it's changed, and now you got to watch out for that sort of thing. And then I picked 2 off myself on the drive back. So we figured, okay, we've got to give the dog a trim. So bought a cheap trimmer online, and then tried it out on myself first before I tried it out on the dog. So I got a haircut. It's I guess kind of the same length as yours, Matt. It was, significantly longer before I did it. Yeah. My wife had to kind of do some cleanup. But yeah.
Yep, good old quarantine cut. My wife had to do the same thing. Tried doing it myself, and then she walks and she goes, "Yeah, you messed it up in the back." I'm like, "Fix it."
Exactly. It's like it's front, yeah, front and center. It looks okay, but yeah.
Yeah, sides, and then it's like in the back, it's all bad. So
good.
Yeah. So Gerard, you return to us.
How are you guys? It's great to be back. Yes, thank you very much. I finally got a change of schedule for the whole COVID thing, and finally got to see your beautiful mugs.
I know, it's about time.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks, yeah.
So Jason, how's your Costco minute?
The Costco minute, it's going all right. We're having limits again on items, and it's still selling out. So lots of work. And please, guys, again, remember social distancing, 6 feet. If you can't do 6 feet, at least try your hardest to. There's a lot of people out there. And until we get this thing nipped in the butt, please try and social distance yourselves as much as possible.
You saw the massive, line out the door.
Of course. Our senior hour starts an hour earlier than our usual open time. So we have a line for the seniors, and then we have a line for the general public. So we have lines wrapping around the building.
So insane.
To the left, to the right, everywhere.
And Theo, how you been doing?
Dude, I'm tired of work. So tired of work. I don't I find this COVID thing so strange that there's a high and a low. There's no in between. It's either people are out of work, not working, or the people that are working from home are working a ton more. And I'm on the latter, and I hate it right now royally. I got used to my cushy 8 hours per day. I'm not liking this 12 to 14 per day. Yeah. This needs to end.
So, Gideon, I got to ask you, how old is your kid?
2.
2? Okay.
2, wow.
So you're right there with me right now.
Congrats, by the way.
Cody turns 3 this year, right?
Cody turns 3 in July.
Awesome.
Right.
And then big thing happened yesterday, which I sent you guys the video. Riley rolled over for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Hey, yeah.
I did not get such video. What are you talking about? You did not send the video.
I think I sent it to I should have sent it to the group.
That's bull. There's no video. You said Happy Top Gun Day the other day, but that was about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow, so you got another one on the brink of crawling and
Terrorizing.
terrorizing, getting into every room, every drawer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ooh,
So,
about that time to grow eyes in the back of your head again.
oh, I did not send it to the group. My apologies, guys. I am slacking.
I mean,
So-
your wife certainly shared that Cody has his own Switch Lite.
Hey, you know what though?
Hey, no, yeah.
You know, guys, we did it as an early birthday present because he's taking our Switches to play Mario Kart. Let's just start that right now.
So he's straight up like playing on his own now again.
He's
now.
trying to play on his note.
Cool.
But at the same time, he's done an amazing job with his speech, from the speech therapist and everything, to the point where he's actually getting discharged.
Oh, good.
He is speaking in sentences. He can count to 13 now and recognize numbers out of sequence, as well as he can count to 10 in Spanish.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dora the Explorer and Diego.
That's awesome.
So, real quick. So, speaking of my son's birthday, we have 2 games that have official announcements for July 17th for launch titles. Ghost of Tsushima, which had a state of play today, and then Paper Mario, the Origami King for the Switch is launching, and then we also have the announcement of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Oh man,
Remastered.
Of the days of old. I love it. I can't wait. Of my skateboarding days when I wasn't a skateboarder. Well, I wasn't that good.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you've never been a skateboarder, dude.
I am a I was a skateboarder only because I could never ollie or do tricks or like use a shortboard.
So you were a poser.
I wasn't a poser. I was a longboarder. I had to cruise.
Oh, okay.
I was one of those guys. And besides, it made it easier because that's around the time when I got into filming and started doing my own skate and dirt biking videos. So longboarding made it easier for me to get those shots.
Oh,
yeah, I've seen a lot of longboard like camera operators and stuff. It's actually pretty cool how they do that.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's get to know our guest. Gideon, let's kind of look at your career that's kind of started back in '94.
Mm-hmm.
With Project Shadow Chaser 2 and Never Say Die.
What are you even doing? What are we doing here? This is way too deep.
Way too deep.
Stuff like, thanks so much for coming on. And do you recognize this clip? Like, oh, sweet.
See, we like to at least kind of give everyone, especially with Final Fantasy, right? Some of those people outside of 7 don't know you in your career, which you've had actually a very big voiceover career. You've actually been part of Final Fantasy for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
But touch on some of your shows you've been on. You've been on 24 and Castle, which we're all huge Nathan Fillion fans. NCIS. You were on Teen Wolf for a while. You've been on SWAT and whatnot. So, what's been your favorite project that you've worked on so far?
I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, I guess I would sort of separate them out in terms of on camera versus voice, because they're kind of their own beasts kind of thing. I mean, Teen Wolf was a lot of fun on camera wise because it was. I mean, it has its own kind of cult following, which is pretty awesome. And it was nice because the character. I had like sort of a nice sort of journey with the character, and it was a bunch of episodes and stuff. And the cast was super cool to work with, and Jeff Davis, the creator and the writer of pretty much most of the episodes, also wrote really nicely for my character. So that's always a treat when you have a character that's nicely written, because obviously that's where it starts. So yeah, it was nice, and it was this eloquent guy, and I could use my own accent, which was nice. And I liked the fact that he was an intelligent bad guy, as opposed to just going in and breaking heads kind of thing, which I've certainly done my share of that too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then voice wise, yeah, Final Fantasy's been pretty amazing franchise to be a part of in a little way, because certainly 12 as Balthier was my first big role, and it was fun. It was also got to use my own accent as well, which I don't always get to do. It's more sort of rare than not, but that was also nice because he was this cool sort of swashbuckling Han Solo type, and that's always fun to play because I'm never going to be James Bond, but I could kind of be the suave Bond meets Han Solo animated version, if you will.
The cocky adventure.
Yeah.
Those are always fun to play.
You've been a part of some big franchises, though. I mean, you look at Final Fantasy because you've been in 12. You did some voice work for a 13 trilogy, and of course, Biggs, of course. Which that was kind of nice seeing you do the KuboCon interview when they did the live stream ones. And funny you mentioned it too. Is back then you also mentioned not being able to use your voice, your natural accent. And it is nice to hear that on screen that they actually are allowing you to do that. But you've also been a part of Mass Effect, which I didn't know you were Chelik.
Mm-hmm.
Because
don't
Mass
ask me to
Effect,
do like voices on the spot and stuff.
No, absolutely not. It's just when I listen, to some of your reels and stuff, and of course with Biggs and stuff, and I think back to Chelik, who I always thought was a pain in my side, in my side when I was playing Mass Effect all the time, just how he was, but. You don't really hear your true voice in it, which is nice. But you've also been Steve Fox in Tekken.
Yeah, for a heartbeat. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of dialogue for that guy though either. Let's be honest.
Not really.
All right, let's go.
There's a lot of grunts and moans.
Yeah.
And then you were Poseidon in Ghost of Sparta, Ascension, and God of War 3.
Nice.
You've been part of Uncharted 3 and 4 and Lost Legacy. Additional voices for Last of Us. You were Stall in actually one of my favorite Killzone games, Shadowfall.
That was kind of a fun one to mention, actually, because there was like motion capture as well. Although there wasn't much to do because the guy's like hooked up to this on this bed, sort of being kept alive. But it was what was it? Malcolm McDowell, I think, was the reference. So it was trying to sort of like voice match him, but also he's really sort of ill and stuff, right? He's a sort of pale imitation of what he once was, perhaps. So that was kind of interesting. Yeah, it's always fun to do different sort of stuff for sure. Yeah.
And technically, with some of your other like video game projects, have you not done a lot of mocap?
No, I've done. I've done like close to 150 games, and probably I've done 12 games have been mocap for me as well.
Oh wow!
There's about so it's not a high percentage, I guess, but you can definitely do more. Is this accurate or not? I mean, you can definitely do more as a voice actor only, because you're going to the booth, for 4 hours at a time and on your merry way kind of thing. Whereas mocap is more like a film shoot.
Right.
So it takes longer, and you've also got to book a juicy something. But I think I've been in a pretty nice position where they used to do, they used to be getting folks in in Asia to do the mocap, and then they would get the renderings and whatever and stuff for then the voice actors to work off, right? So we weren't doing it, and then they were getting stunt performers to do it, who were obviously badass and amazing. And then there was this shift in the last few years where they wanted to get on camera talent to do the mocap, because it's all getting so filmic now, and and it's beautiful and whatever, but obviously what that does is cuts out, or initially cut out, a lot of the voice talent who perhaps maybe only voice specific, they don't, pursue on-camera stuff. So if they're going to a casting director or going to a talent agency that only represents on-camera talent, they're sort of cutting out the VO guys and women, So I was lucky that, I come from an on-camera background as well as voice. And for some reason, when I moved to LA in '03, found this niche doing voices for games. And so when that sort of move happened, it was sort of in a bit of a sweet spot. So I've been able to do some pretty cool stuff, like obviously, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which, a character looks like me as well, so that was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's always kind of fun to do. And it's kind of like theater in a ways when you're filming it. So it is like a sort of a total acting experience, although there's a lot of choreography involved because you're working in an empty space, So it's pretty cool.
Well,
that wasn't a question. I just went off on a whole riff.
No, that's awesome.
That's what we do.
You actually answered like a couple of my questions that I was going to ask. So
and good night.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't noticed, even by some of our conversations, we go off the rails a lot sometimes. I mean, you should have.
Yeah.
I mean, you should see us with John sometimes. When John Bentley's been on, it's just sometimes he starts telling his stories and we go so far off the rails. It's great.
Yeah.
But two voices I gotta say is you were Devrim Kay in Destiny 2, which when I told Theo that, he was excited because he is our Destiny 2 guy.
Mm-hmm.
He is all about Destiny.
I'll be honest, I'm actually more fanboying out because of Daredevil right now.
Yeah, me too. I absolutely. I remember
you
that
as Anatoly in that show was like so good.
So good. So good.
But
I absolutely
but I do have a question.
Yeah.
Is what do you find a little bit more difficult from a technical perspective of doing voiceover or on camera?
I mean, technically, voiceover is more straightforward because you're just focusing on one thing. You don't have to, you don't have to worry about the physicality of it. I mean, unless you have a really action-heavy, sequence or game where you're going to do a lot of efforts and those kind of things. I mean, that's not really technically, but also technically in terms of sort of trying to protect your voice. That's a tough thing to do because people, it used to be, there'd be a couple of grunts and shouts and whatever and be done with it. But, the people want really filmic sounds to go with, the filmic images. And that sort of stuff is real sort of heavy lifting. So I'm not a big fan of doing that kind of stuff because it's just not great on the vocal cords. But technically, would you say which is more difficult?
Yeah.
I mean,
which one do you find more difficult?
I mean, I don't think I think of either of them as difficult, but I guess it's no, I don't mean to sound like arrogant or anything. But I guess in terms of challenge, the most challenging probably is motion capture, because like on camera you've got more to worry about. You've got to worry about cameras, where you're looking, remembering continuity, this sort of stuff, and and obviously you're wearing a wardrobe, and you've got to remember blocking, and then obviously your lines and not mess them up, and blah blah blah. And try and be sort of true in each moment. But you've got you've got a lot of downtime on a film shoot. Motion capture, you've got to do all of that. You've got to be off book, whereas when you're sort of standing in the booth, you're just reading the lines. You don't have to remember them. And motion capture, you can bust through like a bunch of pages in a day, and there's no real, there's no like go back to the trailer and chill sort of thing. It's like pretty much, if they're working,
right,
you're working
out there
until until they give you a toilet break kind of thing. I don't say it's it sounds like slave runners, but there's there's a lot you can get through without waiting for okay, now we've got to wait for the camera to turn around, we've got to relight and this sort of stuff. Or people coming in to do sort of last looks and touch up hair and makeup and stuff. You don't have any of that because it's just data in a volume of space. So you get through more stuff in theory, but a lot of what's really nice is directors I've had the fortune to work with have been very hands-on and all about like rehearsing. So what's interesting is although there's a lot more going on technically, because you're in an uncomfortable suit, you know, you got a helmet with a, you know, stalk at the end of it with a camera, you know, facing you and all this sort of stuff. And you've still got to try and you got to remember exact blocking, because, you know, if you're looking a certain place at a certain angle, that's going to be looking out the window, let's say. And if you kind of shift your head, maybe you're looking at the wall, but there is no wall or window, right? Because it's just this sort of empty volume of space with maybe a couple of guidelines and some tape on the ground. So a lot of it requires like careful rehearsal and stuff. But directors I've worked with for the most part have been really, really good about kind of guiding us to the performance and stuff. I've had more care and kind of rehearsal with motion capture than on camera for the most part. Although you mentioned Daredevil, we did have some good rehearsals for the fight sequences, because obviously you've got to do that, otherwise people get hurt. But I will say, seeing as you were mentioning that, Vincent D'Onofrio, very nice guy, but very strong. I mean, he's a big guy. You know, I mean, he's just one of those guys, like naturally strong. So I show up for the rehearsal to do the fight / death scene, and he turns up, and, you know, we're wearing, like, you know, whatever, like, sort of, you know, shorts and tank tops kind of stuff, and there's like a mat behind me. You know, there's one, you know, moment where he sort of lifts me up and throws me down. I mean, I was like, okay, maybe like just like 50%. You know, I'm gonna feel that tomorrow. Yeah, so that was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. He's a really cool dude. I don't know. That was a long roundabout answer. What's more difficult? I suppose motion capture is more difficult, but it's also more fun. Because
you really get to challenge yourself and play with your imagination, right? But it's more technical, and in terms of, you're right, as opposed to a film set, you're kind of working on just one scene, where in mocap you can be doing many scenes, because you don't have, like you said, wardrobe or hair and makeup. You're in the one suit. You can just get from one scene to the next and just go as far as you can.
Yeah, you can be more efficient with it. I mean, there's definitely, you know, occasionally there's technical stuff to deal with, which doesn't, which may not be the actor's fault, kind of thing, you know, because there's, you know, a bunch of computer systems running and this sort of stuff, and occasionally you have to calibrate the space and blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah, it's also kind of high pressure, I think, because unlike film, where we'll pick that up in the close up, or, you know, we can just go for another take, but we'll pick it up from this point, kind of thing. In
there are
mocap,
always shortcuts, yeah.
Well, yeah, and in mocap, there's no close up in the shooting of it, right?
Because it's the video game, so you're
it's just
view.
data, so they can
choose the sensors.
They can choose where they want to look at it after we've shot it, right?
Right.
Which is crazy cool. But what it also means is that we have to have one perfect take from beginning to end, and everyone has to be perfect in it at the same time. It's not like, now this is now your coverage, so, you know, now I'm going to bring it, sort of thing. It's everyone has to give their best performance, and then they take that one take, because they can cut in, but it's such a mission to do that. So the preference, at least with the folks I've worked with, has been they need one take where everyone's just badass amazing, and then that's their select. So everyone's really got to be on their game, you know. So it's interesting. It's an interesting challenge. It's a cool challenge to have, but it's definitely, you know, at the end of the day, you're like trashed. Whereas, you know, you can work on camera, unless you're doing super fight sequences and stuff. You know, there's enough downtime for you not to be trashed, unless of course you're doing long night shoots. But yeah, mocap, you definitely earn your beans. Yeah.
Gideon, which is more frustrating, when you guys have to redo the takes in mocap, or when you have to redo takes when you're actually doing, you know, film or TV?
I mean, just redoing takes, if there's a stuff up, probably, you know. I mean, the great thing about this versus, you know, live theater is that, you know, you do have that option, you know, as opposed to being on stage where it's like, well, you're just gonna have to keep going with it.
Yeah.
I had this is going way back, but years ago I did a play called Children of the Wolf, which was a thriller. Which, I mean, who wants to put a thriller on stage? But it was an older play, and they decided to redo the thing and stuff. But anyway, long story short, it's like a brother and sister, and they lure their mom to this house, and basically they were abandoned as kids, right? And so they basically moms, the sisters a little bit like oh cuckoo, and brothers not all that independent and kind of dependent on the sister. But anyway, long story short, it's now payback time kind of thing. So we lure mom back. Anyway, this pivotal moment, sister pulls out this there's a reason I'm telling this story. Sister pulls out the knife. I'm doing all the movement and stuff, and there's no camera on me, unfortunately. Robbed of the gold, pure gold. Voice of God, pure gold. So anyway, she pulls out a knife, right? And there's that moment we're like, oh man, she's gonna stab her mom. What's gonna happen? And this is opening freaking night of this show, right? It's absolutely dead quiet, and then the door, where we've gone through the whole process. We've locked her in, right? In the room. It's a stage play, so it's like one set. But anyway, long story short, pull out the knife, and the locked, quote unquote, door goes. Just like the set, the door itself didn't click close or something, and it was a gorgeous freaking set they made, but for whatever reason, the thing didn't freaking click closed. So then there's this moment. So here you go, oh great, we'll pick up a second take, but now it's live, and I'm sitting there, and there's the three of us standing there. Three of us on stage. There's sister, there's brother, I'm brother, and mom. And I'm like, oh, sweet Lord, this is a complete stuff up. So all I can do is in the moment, I'm like, well, I just run back and then make double sure. I obviously messed up. I didn't lock it properly, and hope to God that the stage managers now run around and hold the other side of it. But yeah, so definitely better when you have that option. So shouldn't really complain about an extra take. But I think the worst about extra takes is the end of a long day. Motion capture, you're not doing night shoots, so I think the worst is probably night shoots when people are getting tired and you've got to get that extra take or something. Or where you're doing night shoots or something called block shooting, where basically they shoot everything in the same direction, but there might be multiple scenes. So they're looking in one direction, say they're getting, Jason's coverage, blah, 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 and then they turn back on me. But now they're turning back on me hours later, and I've got to try and remember everything I did, 6 hours earlier in the day kind of thing, and you're tired and whatever and stuff. So that can be challenging. But these are, good problems to have because, hey, yeah.
Hey, at least you're employed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When this is all over, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. How hard is that right now for you as both a voiceover actor and a film actor, to where a lot of filming has shut down?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I was going to work on a TV pilot, and then I got, and 2 days before I was had my first day, they were going to push it. I got a notice saying they're going to push it 2 weeks, and that was before everything all shut down. And then I got an email saying, okay, now you've been released, kind of thing, which is tough. But I know that they do that because it's more like an insurance type thing, But so I have no idea. I don't know if I'm going back to a gig when things open up. I don't know how long things are going to take to open up. I mean, I'm in New York, which is not going to be the first state. I'm going to be number 49 or 50.
You and Gideon, you and I are in the same boat. I mean, because Virginia's been upticking, so it's everyone's we need to open up, but we haven't hit that plateau yet to drop down. And whatnot. And I do, I miss New York though. Where are you, down in the city, or are you upstate?
I'm a little outside the city, but I'm not upstate. So I'm just enough outside of Manhattan.
Okay.
To not feel
to stay sane
in it, but yeah, kind of. But I mean, you're talking about the 6 feet thing in the beginning, in the opening there. It's I still don't get it. It's I'm stepping outside with my dog and my kid, and and people without masks just like trotting along on the sidewalk, and it's like, wait, so I have to like scoop up my kid and my dog and step into the street because you, single person, aren't just, I don't know, it's just it drives me a little loopy, but
I don't get it
Oh,
either, man.
it drives
I get my
me.
mask
honestly,
and
it's
I'm
everywhere. It's
gritting
everywhere.
my teeth behind my
Yeah.
mask, and it's like yeah, it makes me want to like say stuff and whatever, but it's like I gotta protect my kids, so I'm gonna just bite my tongue.
But it really makes you want to
But-
ask, like, dude, do you care? Do you care
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on right
little
now?
bit,
Like,
you know,
yeah.
little bit.
They don't.
Yeah, it's gotten to me a lot like lately, just because like I like watching and see the stats and stuff like this of all the pandemic stuff going on, and it's gotten to the point now where like, come on, people in America, like, just have like a sense of, hey, let's just help each other out and be conscious of seeing other people, like, hey, like, you don't know what that person's going through, but at the same time it takes like 10 seconds to wear a mask. It takes like less than a minute to just move over instead of hogging the entirety of a sidewalk or like
an aisle or something.
yeah, it's or like all these protests that are now going on. I'm like, oh man, like that is just, it gives me chills because like I just see like hundreds of people just mass gathered, and I'm like, dude, if one person has it, then
I don't
all of a
get that either.
sudden 500 people have it.
Yeah.
It's just, oh.
Well, let me ask everybody, like, do you guys have this going on in your states? So like, it's been recent for Colorado is that there are a good number of restaurants opening up, and people are going and they don't care. Like, they are completely packed in there. The governor is saying that they are getting their licenses indefinitely revoked, and they're still doing business without a license and whatever. They just don't give a crap about anything COVID related. Do you guys have that going on in your states too?
Nope.
No, but like the reason my schedule changed recently was that we're starting to do that. Like we're doing like partial opening for restaurants, but people still need to wear masks. There are rules when you like walk
these are no
in.
rules.
Oh yeah, well,
They don't even
we
care.
have we have rules on like on dining in, I guess, but that was supposed to happen this week, so I don't even know if we're even following through, because I don't think we are.
I hope not. I hope not in California. Like,
Yeah, me too. We still need to be, unfortunately, be in a lockdown. Like especially what Jason was mentioning, all the protesters. Like, I'm sure Huntington Beach has hit the news lately. That
yes, it has.
Yeah, and it just saddens me that that part of Long Beach is like idiots.
Yeah,
just idiots.
I can't, man. Like,
I
everyone's
know,
like,
man.
oh, like, we want to go to the beach. It's starting to warm up now. And I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, so you want to go to the beach or die? Like,
yeah, Virginia,
Seriously.
for us, Virginia Beach is what got us in the problem in the first place, because they were back before we went on like lockdown in March. It was super nice. Everybody went to Virginia Beach.
Wow.
And it was packed. So Gideon, I gotta ask you. So with your role as Biggs in FF7 remake, did they have you audition for the role, or because of your history, not only with 13 and 12, but 14 as Urianger, Jason's a big FF14 guy. Did they just say, hey, we want you to play Biggs?
I wish I could remember. This makes me sound like I'm really, really busy, but this is the kind of stuff I honestly
really
don't
busy,
commit to memory. But I know I was sort of a request to come in and read on it at least, you know. So that much is true. But yeah, typically speaking, I'll read on a bunch of stuff, and and here and there, there's some people that throw you a bone, but it is. I mean, there's what is kind of cool is with those folks usually, both here or whatever, So it's you might not have worked with specific people before, but it is nice to know that some stuff resonates with people too. So
yeah.
What was it? Yeah. What was it like finding out that you were going to be Biggs in FF7 and be part of such a revered franchise?
I mean, I've been asked this before, and it's my thing is it's best for me not to go there in my mind, because then it's, I'm sort of psyching myself out potentially, so it's just, it's another gig, and okay, what do we need for this guy? Okay, that sounds cool, and let me just approach it and find my way there with director guiding me, sort of thing. So I try not to, or I'm very good, I guess, at not letting my mind go there, because then I think I start I'd be making sort of funny choices and stuff. It's like I've done a number of games for Star Wars, and in a similar sort of way. Because I tell you what, there was one game. What did I work on? Where I just got in my own head. Matrix Online, where I got completely in my own head that I got to participate in this game or be doing anything on it, and that didn't help me. It didn't help me any doing that. So it didn't help me, I don't think, in my performance, but I was just so like like fanboying like all over, like from the get-go, and I don't think it helped me deliver like my best or yeah. So it's best for me not to think about that sort of stuff, So I didn't. Yeah. That was a long answer, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it was good. I gotta say, you did surprise everybody though when you showed up in cosplay as Biggs.
Hey, what's funny? So yeah, that was kind of fun, because I mean, I've never really cosplayed before, but what was funny is I'm looking at like images of him, and obviously I'd seen it in recording the game, but then I'm like packing my stuff to go to PAX, and I'm like, what, yeah, those pants are pretty close. And I was like, I could probably, and then it's like, I know my wife's got, like, I don't wear gloves to gym, but I know my wife had a pair of fingerless gloves, so I was like, where am I gonna find her gym gloves? And I'm like rooting through her neatly Marie Kondo drawers to find fingerless gloves to put them on. So yeah, that was kind of fun. But they had to wrangle. I said, you guys, you got to find me a red like scarf or something to go around my head. So they ended up giving me a Final Fantasy 14 or whatever. They had some promo. It was like partially red and black or something. So like, okay, cool. Nice. I can fold it over and do that thing. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Now, had you ever played Final Fantasy 7?
Nope.
Oh.
No, that's a boring answer, but.
Well, actually, Breeze never played it up until after you guys were done making it, and then she started playing it recently.
Yeah.
Mallory Lowe, who plays Madame M, hadn't played it. Vic Chow hasn't played it. Yeah. So it seems like the majority is more you guys are just there doing your role versus actually being more fanboy over it.
Yeah. And I don't get me wrong, like I appreciate that too, because it's like it's a new take, and you're not, like Gideon said before, you're not like already like invested into it. You're not like partly, oh, this is what's going to happen. Oh, okay, so it feels fresh, it feels really fresh.
Yeah, if you know you're kind of like doing. I mean, okay, Biggs didn't have hardly anything, if anything, to say, right? I think in the first, in the original,
yeah,
right?
very minimal
dialogue-wise, but yeah, I mean, like the notion of like, oh, okay, you're gonna be the new, like Batman or whatever, let's say, it's like, man, there's like so much that's gone before you. That would be hard. That would be really hard. I'm not gonna pretend that I'd be able to like, oh yeah, put it aside with something huge like that. I'm not. That would be an interesting challenge to have.
Very nice. So, what have you guys, as a family unit, what have you guys been doing to pass the time during COVID? Do you guys have like games you guys are playing with your son or
daughter?
Or daughter?
She's no apology. kind of amazing. I wish I had like a guy friend that I could Zoom with on the regular. Well, I mean, I do have guy friends, but yeah, it's it's like my wife, my daughter, and my lady dog that I walk, my little fluffy white dog. So it's interesting. We hey, look, we do. I love drawing and art and stuff, and when I was at school, it was art and it was acting, you know, and then I had to kind of choose what I wanted to do, and it's what's super cool. She loves art too, so every morning,
Yes.
I mean, as I look at the clock now, going like, what time is she gonna wake up? She, you know, she'll get up somewhere between 5:30 and 6, and I'll be up, and I let mom sleep in for a little bit longer because she does plenty of heavy lifting, and we go and we'll start drawing. And she's just really cute right now because like she's talking more and more. She'll do stuff like she'll draw a little bit and she'll be like, okay, your turn. And then I have to draw a little bit. We're not working on the same picture. We're doing like our own little pictures. But so yeah, we've been doing that. They've been there's like a little online music class thing we do like once a week, and
That's
I mean,
awesome.
it's kind of rinse and repeat the same stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it is.
unfortunately.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like if we could get out more. I mean, you know, we try to sort of walk once a day, but you know, we are a go out, do lots of stuff together, family. You know, so it's definitely been challenging for all of us that we're spending so much time inside. You know,
Yeah.
I really wish I had a yard because that would make things feel a little less boxed in kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, we've been doing pretty good. I guess the challenge is trying to find time to do sort of work type stuff, and you know, emailing things and respond to things and whatnot, because yeah, she's at that age where I mean, occasionally, you know, she might, you know, read a little something on her own or sort of pretend to read kind of thing and flip through like books where she's familiar with them, you know, but for the most part, it's like you've got to be engaging with them the whole time. So, you know, that's, you know the story, Matt. So it's, it's awesome, but it's tiring too, for sure. Yeah.
It is,
at that
and
age
like
at 2, they're 2.
2, yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, what's more exhausting too, Gideon, is the fact is I'm working from home, and Cody just doesn't understand that there's times where it's like, okay, Daddy really has to work right now. I can't have you hanging out with me trying to type on the keyboard. You know, stuff's broke. We, you know, got to try and get it fixed at work, and it's like, okay, go away, go away. You know, but I mean,
you know, the tougher thing is getting them used to you guys not being there now.
Oh, that is going to be.
They're gonna really enjoy. They really enjoy having you there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when this is over, that's gonna be the tough. Like,
but it has helped. You know, it's helped with having the baby too, right? Because, you know, I went back to work, you know, end of February after my 4 weeks off, and in 3 weeks we were on work from home.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's
helped, you know, being home with the baby and stuff like that, and,
that's very
whatnot.
cool. Yeah.
But I also wish that we were back in the office because it's more productive there. You know, you know, because I mean, I sit there at my desk and we're bored. There's nothing much to do. I'm either
it's a good healthy time away from home.
It is, because I have my PS4 and my Switch staring right at me, and well, as you can tell by my Animal Crossing hours played, I grabbed the Switch and I'm.
What are you talking about? You're an excellent employee. You're broadening your training. You're not playing video games at home while working. You're a great employee.
You're multitasking everything with kids and.
Hey, but yeah, it's hard with kids, but at the same time, I love being home with them. You know. So it'll be weird when we all go back to work. like actually out in the real world. So real quick, guys, I want to give some shout outs really quick. So a friend of the podcast, Darren Simmons, who was on a couple weeks ago from Rusty Rupees. Today is his birthday, so I want to give a shout out for his birthday.
Happy birthday, dude!
Unfortunately, with COVID, he can't really do anything.
Yeah,
especially since he's up near San Francisco, which is really locked down.
Well, if he's listening, we'll have to get on and play online together or something for.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And Newman has left us some voice messages.
Oh no!
So, Gideon, give you a little background on the guy we call Newman. Yeah. It's a coworker of mine who likes to pick on Jerry a little bit, kind of like that whole Seinfeld and Newman dynamic. And he became Newman because of actress Danielle Basutti, who was on with us. She played in God of War and whatnot, and she was like, "Oh, you mean like Jerry and Newman from Seinfeld?" And that kind of just bred into
she birthed
Newman.
It, which is so crazy. That's so funny.
So he has left us a couple of voice messages on Anchor.
No.
So
this is gonna be good.
Let's play the first one.
Oh God.
Hey, thanks for the shout out. I'm doing fine. Still catching up on episodes from the time I was but I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy.
So that's the first one.
Oh, very good.
Because
that was civil.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you were on that podcast, Jerry. You might have missed it.
I don't think so.
He's undergoing cancer treatment right now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So he had surgery.
Was it last week? 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And it was a rush surgery too because of COVID. They needed to get the surgery in and done quickly because they didn't know how bad the cases were going to get. So,
damn. Well, I'll be praying for him.
This one is specifically for you.
Theo.
Hey, I'm out of the hot seat. I like this.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Theo, for a Newman comment. Here it is. Since the theaters aren't open and you're not doing your day job of doing the movies, you have plenty of time to play video games, so there's no excuse. I agree with Soldier. You don't get forgiven.
No.
Nice.
Accept that answer. I don't accept that answer one bit. Because my day job is horrible right now and is preventing me from doing anything.
So, so to all our listeners out there, now that you guys we moved over to Anchor, leave those voice messages because we are going to start playing them in the podcast. And giving everybody their shout outs for
because this is going to be the first that when we're recording, it's going to be the first that we hear it. We're not.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not pre-screening them, especially from Newman.
But keep it clean. Keep it clean, guys. Thank you.
So yeah, just do a quick round table. Jason, which playing?
I am still playing Final Fantasy 14. Trying to get my raid team together.
How did tryout go?
Tryout didn't go too well. It's okay.
No mesh?
No, well, there was a time conflict.
Oh,
okay.
So it wasn't. It couldn't be postponed. Blah blah blah. But still trying to find the raid team for the end game content, which I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, it comes out pretty soon. Final Fantasy 14. Trying to finish up hard mode on Final Fantasy 7. Might bust out some of the old systems, play other Final Fantasies because that's all I got on my mind right now. But to update you guys though, after I finish hard mode, I will be jumping back onto Sekiro. Jerry, I'll be jumping back on after I platinum 7.
Okay, so I still got time.
You got time.
I mean, you got a little bit of time, but hard mode isn't as intense as I thought it would be. It is intense, but not as intense as I thought it would be.
Okay, getting a little khaki. I like it.
So Theo,
surprisingly, this week I haven't been getting to play as much, but it has been Animal Crossing still. Just a few hours this week. That's about it. But I've been really busy and with work and still trying to keep up with training for archery. But yeah.
Jerry?
Let's see. I've kind of been all over the map. I just brought back Wildlands. I think I want to finish that from my backlog.
Hold on. Dude. I thought you got rid of Wildlands.
No, I kept it. That's how skeptical I was about Breakpoint. And I still bought the deluxe version, and I still want to punch myself for that. But I committed, and I followed through. But I knew to keep Wildlands, so I knew I was going to go back to it.
So was it Breakpoint that you got rid of then?
I got rid of Breakpoint. Okay. Yeah, it was just bad. And I'm still playing Call of Duty and Final Fantasy. I need to focus on Final Fantasy a little bit more right now.
Where are you at?
I'm still at the Monster House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Murder House. What else? Oh yeah, and I brought. You'll be proud. I brought back out Horizon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey.
I've kind of been, ever since you've been talking about it a little bit more, like when we have been phoning each other, and I've been reading some of the rumors of like number 2 coming out, and I'm kind of like
as a launch title.
Yeah, so I've kind of been like, man, it's been a while. It's one of those games like I need to dust off and like play again because it was just such a phenomenal game.
It is.
Yeah, I've been playing. I've been toying with a lot of games lately right now.
And how many hours have you put on, Matt? How many more?
I have officially cracked 300 on Animal Crossing.
Ooh, 300 hours.
I promised you, Jason, that I would do it. Luigi's Mansion.
You did it.
It has been beaten.
Oh,
yes.
I finished this week.
Finally.
And then also been playing a little bit MLB The Show. I have, if I can beat the Dodgers once in this next game, I get to clinch the division and
good luck.
Pick the Dodgers out of the playoffs. So
good luck. Not going to happen.
Yeah, so that's been pretty much my gaming so far and whatnot. So, all right, Gideon. Got to ask, we have one question we have for all of our guests. And that is, what is your favorite game to play for like a game night when you're with family and friends, whether it's a board game or card game or whatever it is? What's your guys' favorite game to play?
That's such a hard question. I don't know. I can't remember the last time there was a game night, and that's not just because I'm a dad.
A dad in COVID.
Yeah. Shoot. I mean, I used to I'm a. I grew up playing Space Invaders and Afterburner and 1942. This kind of stuff. So I like first person shooter stuff, and so I did like some of the older Call of Duty ones, and my best buddy and I used to hop online. I don't have a console anymore, but we used to hop online and play each other, and either add like a bunch of AI and then just like set them to idiot level. Keep getting care packages and stuff, and it was that's always been a lot of fun. But I'm pretty, because I mean people with quick scoping and stuff kind of killed me, and the big one I did, Advanced Warfare and stuff. But I heard in the new one though, where I voiced Nikto, I think they brought back Shipment, didn't they? One of the maps.
In Modern Warfare, yeah.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite maps, so I was like, oh man, that'd be fun to play again. But otherwise, shoot, I really don't know. I got nothing.
Hey.
Yeah.
You got Call of Duty in there though.
Yeah.
And at least that was with friends. So,
and I would highly recommend the new one, the Modern Warfare online co-op Warzone. It's a lot of fun.
I'm definitely feeling the urge to blow stuff up. Yeah.
yeah, Jerry won't go play really Black Ops, because we always play, hardcore friendly fire, and half the time it's us committing, friendly kills.
That's always
Kill's
fun.
A kill, though. Kill's a kill, remember.
That's usually how my buddy gets booted.
Yeah.
He's not doing it on purpose, but yeah.
We've gotten booted plenty of times in sessions.
Oh, yeah.
Too. Like,
but
sorry,
we were
guys,
good
I'm
about
out.
counting. We were good about counting
we
our
were
friendly fires.
that's
It's like,
how-
is it worth it? Is it worth it? Yes, it is.
Like,
Mostly my wife.
And we all counted each other like, dude, you only got one more. Yeah, but it's going to be worth it.
Oh, yeah, that's my wife right there.
Yeah.
No, but you want to kill the guys who's running around going like, hey guys, knives only. It's like, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
That's Matt to a T right there.
Oh, that's Matt. That's Matt right there. In his
combat knife, but also
arm.
the mannequin arm.
Mannequin
Black
arm,
Ops 3 has a mannequin arm you can use as a melee weapon. So I would break it out and run up and just hit Jerry upside the back of the head, and then stand there and do the motion that lets you clap with it.
Oh no, shields! Those shields.
Oh,
like some shield boy running around just going. Dum. It's like, how does that kill you? It's like you're like, come on, man! You're like firing away, and then you have to turn and run. It's like, what a way to go. So listen, I got to sign off, guys, because it's
absolutely. So I was,
that hour, but I have a little code to give you.
Yeah, why don't we, Gideon? Why don't we go ahead and shoot me that code on email? Because I want to award it to somebody that's actually paying attention to the podcast.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so honestly, we're at that top of the hour, and it's going get it ready out of here. So I want to I want to say absolutely thank you.
Yes,
for joining us.
Absolute pleasure, guys.
For joining us,
so
man.
You
awesome.
are
chatting away.
You are more than welcome to come back anytime that you want to get away from COVID, hang out.
It sounds good. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got my email and whatnot. And to all our listeners, I want to thank you for crashing game night with us tonight. As always, if you like what you heard, leave those voice messages on anchor.fm. Follow us on crashinggamenight.com and at Twitter at CGN Podcasts. I want to say, everybody, be excellent to each other and stay frosty.
Thank you to all of the nerds who have listened today and have previously, and who have stayed with us. Stay safe, practice the social distancing, and stay nerdy. Be good.
Quick shout out again to Gideon. Thank you again so much, G-Man. It's good having you on, and we look forward to hearing you again, hopefully, because it's I know Matt hasn't finished the game yet, but after finishing the game myself, hopefully we'll get to hear from you again later.
That's awesome. I really wish my kids at high school had called me G-Man. That would have been so cool.
Nice.
Well, I think we got the new nickname already now.
G-Man,
Right?
Never too old, right?
All right, Theo, send us on out.
All right, guys, thanks for joining TTFN.
Night, everybody.